So this was 2 years ago, I think, and if I remember correctly, it was pouring down rain this day. Should I even be out here kind of morning, Saturday morning? But I mean, Saturday morning, it's like April something. It's like, of course I'm going to be out there.
Of course.
The first sale with games was Phantasy Star 4 on Genesis and then Jurassic Park.
So the loose cart Genesis game in the middle there, that's Phantasy Star 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Otogi 1 and 2, which are actually decent Xbox games, believe it or not.
Any value to those?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not a ton. I mean,
for original Xbox, if it's worth $10, that's
I think they're
pretty
like
good.
$15 a piece or in that ballpark.
Games are worthless on that system.
And then all the PS2, those are all RPGs. I mean, there's a lot of good RPGs in there. You know, PlayStation 2 games were 50 cents each, and he comes out with the Genesis games, and he kind of knew that Phantasy Star 4 was a valuable game. And so he was asking $15 for that.
So he only had the 2 Genesis games?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got all that stuff for, gosh, probably about $20 for everything. I mean,
wow.
The games were 50 cents each, so do the math. And then probably an hour into this community sale, I stumble upon everything else you see in this picture. It was pouring down rain. And
the rain.
There weren't very many people out. And usually I don't like going out in the rain because there's not very many sales. But man, if it's a community sale in the rain, I stumble upon all this stuff, and it's just Pokemon. There's 2 Pokemon Heart Golds in there. I don't know if you can tell in the picture. One's in the case, one's not. Yeah. I did leave a few things behind, if I remember correctly.
I mean, they had to have had a Brain Age or something.
Nintendogs or something like that. So I didn't get everything, but I remember picking up all that stuff, and I just had like stacks of it. And I just said, we take 70 for all of it. And he was like, sure. I mean, at that point, it's like, man, one customer buying so much stuff.
And it's just pouring down rain. And the consoles, the DS consoles?
They were all there, yeah.
So I'm seeing 5 DS consoles. The one sale had 5 DS consoles.
Dude, I can't explain it. People like to collect those things.
Yes, so.
And Battlefront Xbox One. This was literally 5-6 months after that game came out.
Yeah, shocking. People don't like the game.
Probably
EA produces crap. Don't worry though, Battlefront 2 will be much better. Yeah. There will be no controversy whatsoever when Battlefront 2 comes out, and everybody will love it. So I said, well, I'll wait. Then he comes back, and she tells him that I'm interested in Nintendo, so he runs inside and comes out with the bag full of games. I mean, there's only, what you can see, about 7 games here. Nothing outstanding.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins. I can't even see one of the games. It's buried behind cords.
Probably TNC Surf Design.
Yeah, probably TNC Surf or Faxanadu. I find that all the time. So I offered him $20. He immediately accepted it. So I walk down the driveway, and I'm seeing all this GameCube stuff. Controllers, consoles. He had one more GameCube console that I didn't purchase, and as you can see, there's a Game Boy player with this disc and everything. So 4 controllers with the system, no games. There were 4 Indigo controllers also. I don't know. The photo doesn't show the 4th one. So anyway, I start chatting with him. He seems to know what they're worth, and oddly enough, he starts bragging about being featured in Nintendo Power like 25 years ago. On the
something to brag about?
The Power Charge, what do they call that? NES Achievers.
Yeah.
He starts bragging about how he was in an issue of Nintendo Power and the NES Achievers, and he told me what game it was. Honestly, I'd never even heard of the game before. Whatever. He wanted $100 for this bundle, and 4 controllers. Pass. Yeah, it was a pass.
A couple of years.
So I did that hum and haw dance thing for a while, and I acted like I just really couldn't afford it. And then I eventually told him that 60 is the absolute most I could do. And he seemed really disappointed when I made that offer, but he accepted it. So sometimes you gotta lowball him. So this was not a garage sale find, but it's a lesson on it never hurts to just tell your friends that you're into video games. It's not like I go around bragging about it.
You lose a little dignity with certain people, but
I have friends over for movie night a lot, and there was one guy left. Everyone had left. One guy was there. Him and I start chatting about video games. He told me he bought a Switch for his kids for Christmas and stuff like that. I come down here and I show him my game room. He looks around and he goes, "Wow, this is really great. All my systems." You'll never guess what system I have. An old one. And he says, "I have a TurboGrafx 16." And he says, I never play it anymore. He says, well, you can just have it. And I said, hold on here. Like, I might take advantage of people at garage sales a little bit, but I'm not going to take advantage of a friend, right? And he's a friend. And I said, look, you do not want to just give these games to me. And I said, you don't want to do that. These things are valuable. They're very collectible. You don't want to just give these to me. And it kind of hurt me to say that. And it's the opposite of everything that I've ever said at a garage sale. And he said, no. He says, I insist. All right. So as you can see in the photo,
All right.
two working consoles, and the Turbo Express with the TV tuner thing. The Turbo Express does not work. Could a whole pile of games. And tell your friends about your game collections.
Not necessarily your girlfriends, though.
Yeah, our audience doesn't have girlfriends.
Oh.
Yeah.
You shouldn't insult them like that.
You remember everything?
Of course I do. The PSP stuff was a separate sale. So once I was done with that, it was like towards the end of the day, believe it or not. Oh, Tactics Ogre was also a different sale. That was by itself.
Okay.
Which, that was a good find, too.
Yeah.
I think I paid $1 for it. I think it was at the same sale as that Super Nintendo game. And that game is worthless. I don't even remember what that's called.
It's called
X.
X.
So then I pulled up to this sale, and this guy's just got stacks of Wii and GameCube games.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were $2 each, I think. So I grabbed all of those that you see and handed the guy a $30 bill and got out of there. There's some great titles in there. Xenoblade Chronicles at that time was worth about $50.
It's
I know
gone down in value. It's gone way down in value. I don't know what happened.
I think
to
some
that game.
re-releases and
It was re-released on the 3DS.
yeah.
You know, Zelda, Twilight Princess, Animal Crossing,
Tales of Symphonia, Eternal Darkness,
Final Fantasy, Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube. Super Mario on the GameCube. That's a good one.
Baten Kaitos, or however you say that. That's a pretty decent title.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness.
Yes, this was the next time I found this guy.
So same
Same
sale.
yard
Yeah.
sale.
We got
Another year.
Knights 1 and 2, Morrowind.
Not the NES stuff. That was a different sale. But
Okay.
all the Xbox stuff.
Is
and the
GBA
Wii stuff.
games in the box?
Yeah, they were junk. Like
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls or something.
You know, everyone loves Rayman games, but they're not worth anything.
No, not much.
If Nintendo had made Rayman, can you imagine what those games would be worth?
A lot of Pokemon titles down there.
Yeah.
So some really good stuff. Again, really cheap.
What did you pay this time? Do you know?
I think I gave the guy like $70 or something.
Yeah.
$60 or something like that.
This is probably 4 different sales that you're looking at on the couch
Four
here.
different boxes.
4 different boxes, 4 different sales. The first one at the bottom, that GameCube down there. See this GameCube on the ground, just sitting there on the ground, very dirty. You can see it's kind of dusty, like GameCube. I pick it up. It's got a $5 sticker on it. I pick it up, and I look over at the lady, and I said, of course, where are the games? Do you have any games for it?
Gotta have games.
She says, no, there's no games. That's all there is. And as I'm holding it, I push the eject button. The little thing pops up. Smash Brothers Melee is inside. So I quickly close it, and I go, oh, that's too bad you don't have any games.
What a bummer.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, here's your $5.
Yep.
It's too bad you don't have any games. Amazing how much Smash Brothers Melee is worth,
And it's so
considering
common.
how many were
Dude,
produced.
I find that game every year.
Ugh.
I found one last year, I think.
So the next one up, the other GameCube bundle, you can't see the games in this photo. I didn't take a very good photo, but there's Mario Sunshine, there's Mario Kart. Those are probably 2 best ones. And then the Platinum GameCube with Wavebird. You can't really see the Wavebird, but there's a Wavebird in there, and one more wired controller. I think they wanted $80 for everything, and I offered them $50. And they kind of hummed and hawed, but they let it go for $50. And it's not an outstanding deal, but the Wavebird alone, I think I sold that for $30. And then the next box up, the NES games. I don't even remember the story on that. I think I paid $20. And the next one up, the PS2 and a bunch of Wii games. I couldn't tell. This was all one day. And I remember I took this photo because I wanted to send it to you. And if I remember correctly, I did not spend more than $100 on this day. So
Nice.
everything on this couch I got for less than $100.
It was like an hour into the sale, and I stumble upon those NES games with a Nintendo, and I don't know if it's pictured or not, a 72-pin connector that hadn't yet been installed in the NES. So
Wow.
the guy clearly knew about Nintendo stuff. He had bought the connector, supposedly to install it.
He couldn't figure out how to install it, so he just sold everything.
I guess. And I want to say everything was like $75 for everything. for all the games. Not the N64, but just the NES games.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And moving on to other sales, I saw a guy. I was at a sale, I was standing there, and the guy running the sale started putting down some N64 games. Like,
and then
one
you're
at a
just
time.
picking them up
That's
as he's
exactly
putting them
what I
down.
did. As he was putting them down, I was picking them up, and I was like, "We got any more?"
Did you pick him up and shake him? I see the actual house. I see the actual sale. So I'm driving home. I quickly pull off, and I jump out. I start chatting with the man and a woman, probably my age. I asked about video games. She says, "Yeah, we've got some Super Nintendo games." And I'm thinking, "Okay, great, Super Nintendo. It's my language." She says, "Okay, I'll go get them." She goes in the house. I'm chatting with the guy. I feel like she was in there for a while. Maybe she couldn't find him. She comes out. She walks into the garage from the house, and she takes one step and she starts dropping games. She's holding all the games. She has so many of them.
Careful, lady.
She's dropping them. And you can see in the photo, but they're all boxed. Every game is in its original box. I ended up with 11 total games, and every game was in the original box, and everything was just in mint condition. These games look like they were never touched. As you can see in the photo, Donkey Kong Country, there's Clay Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Killer Instinct, some great games, and the negotiations on this one were pretty tough. So I immediately threw out $40, which they shot that down immediately. She's got her phone out. She keeps looking it up. She says, "Oh, all I hear from her is blah 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 GameStop, blah blah blah." And she's punching her phone, and I'm just like, this is a nightmare. She's gonna look up GameStop prices, which I'm guessing on boxed NES games. Oh, and boxed N64 games, of course, as you can see, there's Mario Kart and Super Mario and
You're dead
Diddy
in the
Kong
water
Racing.
if she wants to charge
Yeah.
those prices.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just thinking, this is a nightmare. I've got to end the deal. I've got to finalize the deal.
Throw out a
before
number.
She
and-
figures out. I finally realized what she was doing is she was looking up what GameStop will pay you for those games.
Trading value.
Yeah, the trade-in value. So I felt
That's actually pretty good.
I felt much
Yeah.
better at that point because
Your
GameStop
trading
pays you
values are garbage.
a jar of piss for your games. I ended up paying, I want to say it was $120 for everything, so it was just over $10 a game, which seems a little high. It's more than I normally pay, but
I don't know, with the box.
I mean, every game had a box,
Yeah.
every game had a manual.